My name is Stacey Ziarko. I'm the president and CEO of the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce, coming to you today right from the Dodge Park Farmers Market, the host of the 2021 State of the City. I hope you enjoy the show.
Good evening, Sterling Heights. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stacy, and thank you all for being here, braving the inclement weather. We're going to get you out of here before it starts again, so sit tight. We have a great program, and it's great to be here in the Farmers Market where we are hosting this event this year. This is an incredible venue, and in just a few short years, this went from a vacant parking lot really to this incredible meeting space. It's transformed into what has truly become the city's gathering place. This pavilion is where people from all walks of life, all different cultures, all different political beliefs, all different ideologies come together every week as a community. And it's not just this pavilion. Look around you at this park. Look at all the improvements we've made to Dodge Park. This park serves as a great example of the city's vision to venture to try something new. It's an example of the city's vision to provide the spaces where your adventures can begin. But for all of us, the space that's most important to us is our homes and our neighborhoods. About 2 years ago, we embarked on a very ambitious plan to make sure that every person in every house and every neighborhood was counted as part of the 2020 census. And recently revealed census data confirms that Sterling Heights remains a city on the rise. Our efforts to attract families and new residents is working. Our population increased by nearly 4% this past decade, and we maintained our status as the fourth largest city in the state of Michigan with 134,346 residents. And this increased population will result in an estimated $83 million in federal funding for programs that our residents rely on every day. Our census data also showed that we are growing more racially diverse as well. We've worked hard to become a welcoming and inclusive city, and it's paying off. Sterling Heights has seen increased diversity across the board, with multiracial, Hispanic, Asian, and Black populations on the rise. In addition to increasing racial diversity, the 2020 census data shows that we are continuing to be one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the state as well. Sterling Heights has long been home to one of the largest Chaldean communities outside of Iraq in the entire world. Our city is a mosaic of different cultures, colors, ethnicities, and backgrounds, all adding to the rich tapestry that forms our shared experience here. Our neighborhoods in Sterling Heights are full of immigrants and refugees, new Americans and old Americans alike. And all of us trace our roots outside of the United States, but here together we are bound by the American dream and limitless possibilities. As you can see from every corner of the globe, people have heeded the call to make Macomb County and Sterling Heights their home. And thank Executive Hackle coming in with the applause there. Thank you, Mark. And in every corner of our city, our neighborhoods are improved by the rich diversity of the people who call Sterling Heights home. This doesn't happen by accident. About 7 years ago, the city embarked on a visioning process. We adopted a visioning statement with guiding principles that we strive to live by every day. In our visioning statement, you'll see words like vibrant, safe, active, progressive, distinctive. And that's also where you'll see our city's commitment to inclusion. Inclusion is a core value in Sterling Heights. Inclusive and welcoming neighborhoods are part of the reason families from around the world are setting roots right here and starting their futures in Sterling Heights. And in order to provide neighborhood services to a growing and diverse city like Sterling Heights, we need to hear from the diverse and underserved populations we represent. I'm proud that in this past year, the city of Sterling Heights helped form an African American coalition to help the city address issues of inequality and injustice. The coalition of residents and businesses is the first of its kind in Sterling Heights, and the City Council and I are focused on fostering its growth into a model that can be replicated in other cities throughout the state. Council also enacted recently a new commission known as the Community Alliance. This is a commission whose mission is to serve as a liaison between its city and underserved communities. Residents with a learning disability, impairment, or have been subjected to unfair treatment or exclusion need to have a voice, and I'm proud to say that the city of Sterling Heights is listening. And we will continue our commitment to celebrating the city's incredible diversity through annual events like the Diversity Dinner and the Cultural Exchange. This past year's Cultural Exchange happened right here in the Farmers Market Pavilion, where residents came out to celebrate the many cultures that make up Sterling Heights. But it all starts with desirable neighborhoods, safe, well-maintained, and desirable. One of the many reasons that Sterling Heights is continuing to grow and its population is on the rise and property values are on the rise is that the city is prioritizing its neighborhoods. It's a universal truth that people everywhere want to live in areas that are pleasant, appealing, and safe. But you know, for many of our residents, either due to age or disability or a lack of resources, property maintenance isn't something that they can do alone. So enter the city's SHINE program. SHINE stands for the Sterling Heights Initiative for Neighborhood Excellence. It's been in existence for a number of years, and these volunteers that you see behind me continue to meet regularly throughout the pandemic to help our neighborhoods looking clean and desirable. The SHINE program is a shining example of the city living out its guiding principles, and that is something I'm very proud of. SHINE is both a testament to our community spirit of volunteerism and a recognition that safe, vibrant, and well-maintained neighborhoods begin right here at home. I know many of you tonight have volunteered as part of the SHINE program, and many more of you have volunteered for the city, whether it's through the CERT program, our Citizens on Patrol, volunteering at the library, and much more. To the hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers who give back to our community to make it a better place, thank you. And while residents and volunteers do their part to make our neighborhoods safer and more desirable, the city understands just how important our roads are to every neighborhood. You see, neighborhoods cannot be safe and vibrant and well-maintained without safe streets. That's why in 2013, the city passed the Safe Streets Initiative, which provides funding for police officers, firefighters, and local road projects. Since 2013, hundreds of local roads have been improved under the Safe Streets program. And in 2019, Sterling Heights voters overwhelmingly reapproved Safe Streets for another 10 years. Safe Streets represents a promise made by our city to rebuild our roads and keep our neighborhoods safe. And I am happy to report that that is a promise we have kept. Since 2013, the city of Sterling Heights has seen over $400 million in road improvements, with a majority of that funding coming from the federal, state, and county governments. The Safe Streets money has provided funding for the repair of literally hundreds of neighborhood streets that were becoming a health and safety hazard to our families. Every year, dozens of local streets like these are repaired and made safer for neighborhoods and residents. You know, before Safe Streets, we couldn't keep up with our roads fast enough, and they were failing faster than we could repair. But since then, we have turned the tide, and nearly every neighborhood in the city has had a local road improvement project. Safe Streets is an investment in the city's neighborhoods, which in turn is an investment in the city's futures. And the return on that investment is undeniable. Better streets mean fewer flat tires, bent rims, and lower costs to our residents. And it also means increased demand for our neighborhoods and higher property values for all of us. Even as property values continue to increase to unprecedented levels, demand for a home in Sterling Heights is at an all-time high. For years, developers have been buying any property they can find in the city and developing it into highly desirable neighborhoods with beautiful new homes. Even during the worst months of our pandemic, we saw construction permits continue to increase for residential builders. And what used to be vacant or abandoned properties are now vibrant neighborhoods full of families beginning their futures right here. What my colleagues and I really enjoy is when we see these listings for new properties and they use parks, pictures of the parks and the splash pad in our community center to try to entice buyers to come to Sterling Heights. And even with these great amenities, the city maintains one of the lowest tax rates of any city in Macomb County. We are doing our part to help make Macomb your home. The results speak for themselves. While property values are increasing throughout Macomb County and the state, we are outpacing every other municipality in Macomb County. Sterling Heights has one of the highest aggregate residential property values of any city in the state of Michigan. We are investing in our neighborhoods, and the people are investing in the city of Sterling Heights. One of the reasons we're able to maintain high property values and safe, desirable neighborhoods is because of the work of our police department. Under the chief's leadership, the PD recently completed a rigorous state accreditation process meant to ensure that our police officers are following the best practices and ensuring that your neighborhoods are kept safe. And our unique core program provides every neighborhood in the city with its own dedicated police liaison. So if you have any issues in your neighborhood, your core officer is there to help. And despite all these successes, we know there are challenges in our neighborhoods that the city can and must address. Probably one of the biggest issues facing our neighborhoods right now is the proliferation of illegal marijuana grow houses. Now, although marijuana is legal in the state of Michigan and there are state regulations allowing homeowners to grow, these laws are being abused by people who are turning residential neighborhoods into marijuana factories. These houses use up to 11 times as much electricity as the average home, taxing our electrical grid, causing brownouts, electrical fires, and in even some cases, transformer explosions. With the help of our attorneys at O'Reilly Rancilio, the city administration has successfully shut down over 600 illegal grow operations in residential neighborhoods in the past 12 months. The scary thing is there's so many more. And we've also seen an uptick recently in hoarder houses in our neighborhoods. Now, oftentimes these will include humans and animals living in unsafe and unsanitary conditions. To address this, the city recently formed a Safe Homes Task Force, and it's now hiring its first ever social worker to help proactively address the issues that lead to unsafe homes in our neighborhoods. But I gotta say, the number one issue, and I think my colleagues on the city council would agree, the number one issue that I hear about in our neighborhoods is speeding. Speeding in our neighborhoods is reaching epidemic levels in Sterling Heights. You know, in every corner of the city, homeowners have expressed to me their concern about this growing problem. Our neighborhood streets are turning into drag strips, where motorists show little care or concern for the neighbors and the children playing nearby. And it's not just neighborhood streets where speeding is out of control. On our major roadways, police are dealing with an increased level of speeding and reckless driving. Now, we can't claim to be the safest city we are if we do not address the biggest threat to our residents. So earlier this year, Police Chief Dale Dwojciechowski unveiled the PD's Slow Your Roll campaign, which targets speeding and aggressive driving on major roads. Too many avoidable accidents occur every day because of this speeding and reckless driving problem. The Slow Your Roll campaign is working to keep our city safe and ensure that every motorist has a chance to get where they're going safely. Additionally, the City of Sterling Heights City Council recently passed a budget that includes funding for 5 new police officers, whose main priority will be patrolling neighborhood streets and commercial areas and enforcing our traffic laws. This new specialized bureau will focus on property crimes, traffic laws, and of course, speeding. We on the City Council know both anecdotally and from polling data that residents and business owners want to see a greater presence of police officers on our major roads. With the hiring of these new officers, you can expect to see an immediate impact on speeding enforcement, which will lead to safer roadways. In addition to increased manpower, the city will be purchasing and deploying speed radar machines throughout our neighborhoods. These devices are a critical tool that, when implemented, have the effect of slowing down speeding even when an officer isn't there. But rest assured, we're going to be there. City Council and I are committed to reducing speeding in our neighborhoods at whatever the cost. And if the need continues, I'm committed to hiring additional police officers whose sole focus will be on neighborhood road enforcement. Our residents deserve to live in peaceful neighborhoods where they are free from the danger caused by reckless drivers. And I can assure the residents of the city of Sterling Heights that there is no higher priority than that. So wherever speeding occurs, residents and businesses, I encourage you to contact me, contact a member of our city council, or contact your corps officer to report it. We will get an officer out there who will ticket the speeders and make sure our neighborhoods remain safe. Great, safe neighborhoods is what this is all about. It's one of the main reasons that people have been flocking to Sterling Heights for decades. And with no traditional downtown, there's always been a clear line between where you live and where you work and shop in Sterling Heights. But times are changing. We know that future generations want to be less reliant on an automobile, and they prefer urban environments. So Sterling Heights needs to think differently and adapt. And I'm excited to say that that's already happening. While neighborhoods will remain residential, our commercial areas will soon be transforming into mixed-use districts where people can live, work, and shop all in the same place. The city's first true mixed-use district will be taking shape soon at Lakeside Mall. The mall's new owners have exciting and aggressive plans to invest nearly $1 billion in transforming this obsolete building into a mixed-use district with upscale shopping, dining, parks, offices, and hospitality. And just up the Clinton River from where we are here is a hidden gem waiting to be discovered and polished. The North Van Dyke River District provides the city with a really unique opportunity to develop cultural attractions like a museum, a theater, or even a concert hall. The unique characteristics of Old Van Dyke and Utica Road provide the city with that opportunity to activate the streets, making them more welcoming to pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists. This could be an incredible mixed-use district and perhaps the city's first true downtown. But one project that's not just hypothetical is Tony Gallo's recently approved apartment complex on Shaner, just south of Hall. Across from the old Pier 1 imports, this new apartment complex will be developed in the middle of an underutilized commercial shopping center parking lot. Residents and business owners hate seeing vacancies in commercial areas, and demand for residential properties is at an all-time high. This development represents a new way of thinking in Sterling Heights. And despite headwinds caused by the pandemic, economic uncertainty, and a disappearing workforce, commercial and industrial development in Sterling Heights is as strong as ever. Along the city's Golden Corridor, there is a resurgence of commercial developments, including the new Portillo's, which recently opened in Sterling Heights. Portillo's has been incredibly popular since opening here, and next door to it is already established restaurants like BJ's Brewhouse and First Watch. Joining this trio along the Golden Corridor will be a number of new stores and restaurants, including Total Wine, Shake Shack, Mission Barbecue, and Jollibee. Shake Shack and Mission Barbecue will be opening their first Sterling Heights locations, while Total Wine and Jollibee mark their entry into the Michigan market on the Golden Corridor. Now, I personally can't wait to go to Jollibee, where apparently you can get a fried chicken and spaghetti combo with hot dogs in it as well. So if you know me, I won't let anything like that pass me by. I am going to try that. You know, it's great to have these national and regional brands choosing to locate in Sterling Heights along the Golden Corridor. But there's something particularly satisfying about when a local entrepreneur brings their own unique, one-of-a-kind small business to Sterling Heights. One such small business that I want to highlight today is Soul of Detroit. It's a restaurant that recently opened in the shadow of our halo. Unlike many of the large national restaurant chains that were able to more easily weather the pandemic, local small business owners face challenges that threatened their livelihood and their life savings. Soul of Detroit was no exception. Now, I could tell you all about how they were forced to adapt and what they did to survive, but instead, I'd like to let owner Maurice Ford tell you.
We opened up on Valentine's Day 2020, so it was a rough time to open up a brand new restaurant, a new venture. 4 weeks later, we shut down, of course, like the rest of the country for COVID. But our attempt here was to bring a piece of Detroit out to Sterling Heights. We live out here, this area, this is our home. And traveling back and forth to the city to get a little bit of jazz or a little nightlife, it's a little bit tough to do. So we wanted to bring some of that out here to this community and just share some of our experiences that we have from the city. We throw on events in the back of the building underneath the canopy. We call them Sundays, day parties that we throw out back, where we have a live band out there. Everybody comes out and has a good time, get a good meal. And we're also working with the city to plan a outdoor patio area where we can, bring the indoor and outdoor dining experience to everybody, just to make everyone comfortable to come back out and get ready to, enjoy some of this good old jazz and comedy night that we offer here. Sure, like I said, I want us to be more of an event out, a day out, a date night. So we have a lot of couples night specials that we do. We have comedy shows that we do on Thursdays, every Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we have good old-fashioned jazz and blues bands that come out and perform for us. So it's a really, really great time, a really family fun event. It's more geared towards the adult crowd, but we really, really have a great time here, and we hope everybody come out and enjoy it. To be honest, surviving that last year was a lot of hard work. We had to be very innovative in the different specials that we were offering to try to get carry-out going on. We're not your, run-of-the-mill restaurant where we can compete with Taco Bell or, McDonald's for a quick bite. So we had to do a lot of different things to do promotions for two dining. When the governor opened up where we can give out liquor, we would do the 2 meals and a bottle of wine. To get people to more interested in coming out and trying to support us. But the community, like I said, has been really great on supporting us and coming out to show us some love in our hard times.
We can't forget that local business owners like Maurice need our support now more than ever. They also need our patience as they work through some unprecedented challenges, like just finding enough employees to stay open. It's no secret that the biggest challenge facing most business owners out there is the lack of workers. Nearly every business in the city is advertising the need for new employees, particularly in industries paying wages around $12 or $15 per hour. Hospitality workers, retail workers, wait staff, cooks, and pretty much anyone else in the service industry. These employees have seemed to literally just vanish. There are a lot of reasons given for this troubling trend, but what I think is undeniable is that it is affecting the service economy that we've all taken for granted for too long. Work shortages have led to temporary and sometimes permanent closures. At the beginning of this pandemic, I think we were all concerned that businesses would not be able to find customers and they would have to then lay off their employees. It goes to show how good we are at predicting the future. Because just 18 months later, it's not a lack of customers that's the problem. It's a lack of employees to serve them. Cities like Sterling Heights must play an important role in this changing economic environment. Cities need to be able to help businesses by cutting red tape, partnering with them in workforce development efforts, hosting job fairs, and using our resources to match unemployed workers with local companies who need help. The city recently partnered with Macomb Community College to provide workforce training to our own employees under an umbrella program known as Sterling U. Now, there's no reason we can't take what we learned from this model to help the private sector identify workers, provide them with the training and skills that they need, and deploy them into fulfilling careers right here in Sterling Heights. One of my favorite examples of how the city helped small businesses through the pandemic was our Inside Out program. As we entered the warmer months last year, and we learned that the virus spreads more easily indoors than out, our city administration created the Inside Out program. Inside Out allowed businesses like the Dodge Park Coney Island to expand their operations outdoors onto patios, sidewalks, and parking lots. Approvals were given within 72 hours of a permit request. And one of the best examples of a small business in Sterling Heights taking advantage of the Inside Out program is Mug Pub. Mug Pub is a locally owned bar and restaurant on 19 Mile Road just east of Shaner. When indoor dining restrictions went into effect, Mug Pub adapted and survived, and thanks due to the Inside Out program.
My partner and I opened up this place about 4 years ago now. We turned around and were able to become a successful neighborhood bar. We're like a modern day Cheers, I would say, where everybody kind of knows everybody. We were doing really well as we opened up and continued to grow bigger and bigger, and then when COVID did hit, obviously a lot of people were scared to come out, afraid of the virus. So being that we were limited to the 25% capacity, when we did get limited to the 25% capacity, you know, it was either, hey, are we going to shut our doors down or what's going to happen? And then we found out about the Inside Out program. And we were able, like I said, to take 3 parking spaces here to add another 30 guests to be outdoors. So going from about 90 to 100 guests indoors, you know, to limiting that to 25 guests indoors and having another 30 outdoors was actually great for us. It was able to help us, you know, stay above the water. Chris McLeod, he was able to approve the process within 72 hours, and I believe on the 4th day we were out here, reaction has been great. Obviously, when we have good weather out here, customers love being out here. We have hired extra staff for that reason as well, and been able to employ extra people, being that we do have another 30 seats in the house here. So for us, it's been a win-win situation. We could have just gave up at a certain time and just said, hey, 25% capacity is not going to keep us afloat. We need to shut our doors down. However, we were able to succeed throughout the process, given this Inside Out program. We were definitely able to succeed, and we are greatly appreciated. We greatly appreciate the city for allowing us to do this. So if it wasn't for the Inside Out program, Mug Pub would probably not be here today.
This sort of innovative problem solving not only helped Vince and his employees, but it created a cool and distinctive experience for his customers as well. So thank you to Mug Pub and all the other Sterling Heights businesses who took advantage of the Inside Out program. Another program the city implemented for its small businesses was a small business relief grant program. In April of this year, over 60 small businesses in Sterling Heights received grants of approximately $10,000. The city was able to allocate funding it received from the federal government to qualifying small businesses who needed it the most. Sterling Heights partnered with the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce and Stacy Zarko, who you heard from earlier, and with the assistance of our economic development advisor, Luke Bonner, we were able to implement these programs. One of the most deserving companies who got one of these grants from the city of Sterling Heights was the Urban Air Trampoline Park. Urban Air recently opened up in the old Babies R Us building on Hall Road. And less than a year after opening, they were forced to close their doors. Now, unlike other businesses that could operate at a reduced capacity or on a carry-out only basis, Urban Air, if you've been there, you would know, was completely shut down. Owners Wes and Andy and their families had invested their life savings into a dream business that was providing an incredible service to our community. And then just a few months later, they found themselves at a crossroads.
My best friend, who's my business partner, attended one of these Urban Air facilities in Indianapolis, came back, told me about how great of a time him and his family had. We drove out to Pennsylvania to see a grand opening of one. We absolutely loved it. October 5th of 2019 was our grand opening day. On March 15th, we sat here, actually it was Sunday. My business partner and I went around, talked to all of our team members and said, hey, if we decided to shut operations down just to kind of see how things are going to go with this pandemic that's looming, what are your thoughts? And we got some good feedback from our staff. So we decided that it was best for us to just shut down operations for at least a week. You know, this is before knowing how severe things were going to be. And then 2 days later, the government announced that there was a mandatory shutdown. So we were in line with it. And then for 6 months, we just kind of sat on our hands and waited for things to be safe again. It was extremely difficult. You know, I'd be lying if I said that it was easy. The nice thing is that the government came in and gave us the PPP loans and the EIDL loans, so those really helped. But at the end of the day, they're loans. You know, they still need to be paid back. So the City of Sterling Heights put together a grant that we received, which was great. There was a few other grants that we applied for that funding ran out for, so we were never able to actually get any funds for those grants. But that was definitely a nice help. It's at $5,000. A lot of the PPE equipment we received from the Macomb County Health Department, so that was great, you know, because it allowed us to have masks and sanitizers and things at times where it wasn't even available to buy. You know, I always say this: we're a big park. You know, there's 50,000 square feet here, but we're still a small business, right? And small business needs the support of its community, and I can't speak enough about the community. You know, everyone from the mayor, Mike Taylor, on down to every single guest that walks into our park has just been tremendous in their support. You know, getting the PPE equipment from the Macomb County Health Department, a lot of the help that we've gotten from the City of Sterling Heights. The Sterling Heights Chamber has been amazing for us. The Macomb County Chamber has been amazing for us. There's been a lot of help that has gotten us to this point, you know, and I'm very grateful for all of those people. And I'm sure there's a lot of people along the way that have helped us. It's just sitting here right now thinking back about those 6 months that we were, you know, shuttered. Actually 9 if we're going to go until December. A lot of help from a lot of places, but the support of the city was tremendous.
Very well deserving, and you know, supporting businesses like Urban Air is the right thing for us to do. Cities exist to help improve the quality of life for our residents. And businesses like Soul of Detroit and Mug Pub and Urban Air and all of your businesses, they exist to help improve the quality of life for our residents too. So I'm glad that the city was able to do something, big or small, to help these businesses survive. And I'm incredibly thankful that after those 9 long months being shut down, Urban Air is back open, because there was hardly a day during the pandemic that my kids didn't ask about Urban Air. So I'm happy to report that we have been back several times, and we'll keep going, and it's always an incredible time when we go to Urban Air. To Maurice at Soul of Detroit, to Vince at Mug Pub, Wes and Andy at Urban Air, and all the other business owners out there who had the courage to take a risk, to open up a business, and did everything that you could for these past 18 months to survive, we thank you. You know, great neighborhoods and great businesses are only the start of the success story here in Sterling Heights. While Urban Air is a very impressive 50,000 square foot adventure park indoors, I am standing right here in the middle of one of the best adventure parks in the entire state of Michigan. Right here at Dodge Park, there are hundreds of acres of pristine parkland. There are amenities for young and old. There are boundless opportunities to connect with your friends, your neighbors, and with nature. Now, there is no better place to be anywhere in the state of Michigan on Thursdays in the summer than right here at Dodge Park. Every week, thousands of people flock to Dodge Park on Thursdays for a free concert and farmers market. With all the improvements now completed here, Dodge Park has truly transformed into the premier park in the state of Michigan, and it's the perfect spot for a summer gathering with friends and neighbors. This year, the market is in its 7th year, opening back to full capacity without restrictions after a difficult summer last year. And this incredible multi-purpose pavilion we're in right now is the perfect place to buy locally grown food, flowers, and products all summer long. And every week, right outside there, are 10 or more food trucks surrounding the pavilion and providing market visitors with some incredible foods and dessert offerings that you can't find anywhere else. Shoppers can browse the market, take in a great free concert, enjoy dinner outside with family, or have a cold pint of beer or seltzer with friends at Patios and Pints over at the Upton House. And although the seasons are changing, that doesn't mean we don't have a lot of great things lined up for this fall and winter. Every Halloween, kids look forward to Sterling Frights, which will be back and bigger than ever. This year, October 24th, right here at Dodge Park. I know nobody wants to think about it, but the weather's eventually going to start getting really cold, and when that happens, we're going to flood out this pavilion and we're going to turn it into an outdoor skating rink all winter long. December will also mark the return of Sterling Christmas to Dodge Park. But before that, mark your calendars for the first ever Oktoberfest in the city's history. Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest will be a 2-day festival with musical acts, food, and of course seasonal beers for festival goers to enjoy. On October 8th, doors open at 4 and the plain white teas will take center stage at 8 p.m. On Saturday, October 9th, the festival opens at 11 with musical acts throughout the day, more food, more beer offerings, and our headlining act, who was originally slated to appear at Sterling Fest 2020, will be here, Lou Gramm, the original voice of Foreigner, appearing with Asia featuring John Payne. Now, they're going to appear on the main stage behind me, and that is going to be at 8 p.m. on Saturday, October 9th, capping off the city's first ever Oktoberfest, giving us adults one last chance to take in a free concert here at Dodge Park before the winter sets in. Sterling Fest is the premier event every year in the city of Sterling Heights, and believe me when I tell you that the City Council and I miss hosting it just as much as you all love attending it. But we are excited for Oktoberfest, which is going to give us one more great big party to cap off an incredible summer of events here at Dodge Park. And what an incredible summer of events it was. But even when the city doesn't have a planned event, there are adventures waiting for you throughout every corner of the city. Just a short walk over there for me is the Clinton River, which affords nature lovers an incredible place to canoe and kayak. And along the river, there are miles of trails, which take you deep into secluded and peaceful wooded areas, bringing you back out to parks offering an abundance of athletic and recreational options. These fields and courts are packed all year long. The mini soccer field is one of the most popular amenities in the city, and volleyball enthusiasts ask me every year to open the courts earlier and earlier. Kyle knows that. There's something for everyone at our parks, and there's something for everyone right across the street at our new community center, including some new offerings you might not be familiar with, like pickleball and esports. Now, Sterling Heights is one of the first cities in the country to capitalize on the esports craze. If you don't know, esports is a growing industry where participants compete over video games on organized teams. With a very generous donation from Christian Financial Credit Union, Sterling Heights has its very own esports arena now at the community center. I'm incredibly proud of these parks and all the improvements that we've made and all the work being done by our Parks and Recreation Department to improve the quality of life for the residents that we all serve. But city parks aren't the only places where people like to get out, ride, and enjoy the outdoors. Our city streets should and must include dedicated bike lanes to provide more non-motorized options for travelers. The more we improve our city streets, the more people drive on them. Our streets will continue to be more and more congested, and if we just keep doing the same things over and over. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it's about how to think differently. And the city must continue to prioritize spending on non-motorized transportation options like our trails and fixing sidewalk gaps. Unfortunately, there are too many areas in the city remaining without a sidewalk, making it dangerous for pedestrians to get to where they need to be. Talking with business owners in our industrial corridor, I was really surprised to hear how many of their employees commute to work via the bus. Those employees are forced to walk up to a mile or more to get from their bus stop to their place of employment. Without adequate sidewalks and non-motorized options, these workers will look for better employment options closer to home. We have an obligation to our residents and our business community to close these gaps. And I'm happy to report that working with the county, we were able to close nearly 3 miles of sidewalk gaps on Mound Road alone. Thank you to the county. Closing our sidewalk gaps and expanding our trails is an important way that the city can improve the quality of life for all of our residents. These nature trails are one of the city's best kept secrets. You can break away from your car and your iPhone and venture into these natural areas teeming with wildlife and beauty just minutes from your home. Some residents are lucky to even have them right in their backyards. These trails improve property values and provide new pathways from our neighborhoods to our parks and recreational opportunities without the need to jump in your car. It's hard to believe that just about 5 years ago, none of this really existed here. There was no farmers market pavilion, there was no splash pad, there was no skate park. These amenities are incredible for our community and provide such a value. And the amenities that were here, like the playscapes and the basketball courts, the volleyball courts, they've all been improved. But most important of all, the hundreds of acres of pristine forests and parkland on the other side of this bridge remain untouched and ready to explore. These improvements have increased the quality of life for every resident in Sterling Heights, and they've improved the human experience. Along with the public art on our campus and all these improvements, this park is nearly universally enjoyed by our residents. But don't just take my word for it.
The variety of things that you can do here at the park is just amazing. You have the beach volleyball court over there, you have the basketball court, the soccer pitch over there. I think it's really awesome.
I love the fact that I can get in my kayak and just push right off into the river, and getting off is just as easy. You just hit the dock and it rolls right back up to where you need to get out. Very easy to get in and out. It's very calm where we kayak. You can paddle if you want, and then there's other places where you coast, just a peaceful ride down the river. Very enjoyable and a lot of wildlife.
Everyone kind of sees this place as like a second home to a lot of us. It gets us like out of the house and being able to like have somewhere where we can go and be social and also make friends is a really important thing. So like having a skate park here is perfect, especially with like the farmers market that happens. Like our parents are like over at the farmers market and they just drop their kids off here, and then we all hang out here and their parents are out doing whatever they want.
I'm so appreciative to the voters for approving the millage, because my family has gotten a lot of great opportunities. My kids have enjoyed all the new playgrounds that have been put in, getting to go to all the different locations. We've enjoyed the dog park, and I love coming to the Parks and Rec Center. It's a beautiful center, much bigger, much brighter, and more spacious. We can do more things here. And I'm just really appreciative that the classes are very affordable for families like mine. And so, yeah, we're just very appreciative to the voters.
Every single bit of it is well justified. The money that was spent on it really turned it into a little piece of heaven actually in Sterling Heights.
I think it's great for people with kids, for older people. My husband and I are, we're a little older, but we enjoy walking the trails in the park. My niece and I walk the trails, being on the river. It's just, there's so much to do.
How lucky we are to be here. From the younger folks to the senior folks, different cultures, different ethnicities, and seeing people just living a very cordial life that way, I think is a delightful thing.
All of these improvements were made possible by the voters who approved the Recreating Recreation Initiative in 2016. With over $50 million in improvements to every city park, construction of a new community center, Sterling Heights has been recognized by media outlets and various organizations for bringing an innovative, new recreational opportunity to residents of all ages. And at the upcoming Michigan Municipal League Conference next week, Recreating Recreation is a finalist for its prestigious Community Excellence Award. Now, whether we win or not, there is no doubt that Recreating Recreation has been a game changer for Sterling Heights. This is what happens when you invest in your community and you invest in your people. This is the tangible result of a vision by the city to invest not just in things like infrastructure and trash pickup, which are all important, don't get me wrong, but we made the decision to invest in the human experience. And look at how it's paid off. Sterling Heights, you can live, you can work, you can play. You can have an adventure, you can grow a business venture, and you can build your future. Now, I think it's true that we've made a lot of progress, but I know there's still more work to do. We have undeniable challenges because we are not out of the woods yet. Although we've learned to adapt, this deadly pandemic rages on in the not-so-distant background. And whenever we do emerge, We have to admit that there are tears in the fabric of our society that we cannot allow to persist. We all have to be better and we have to do better. Now, luckily, communities like the city of Sterling Heights from across the country have been given an incredible opportunity to work together towards building a better future. Under the recently enacted American Rescue Plan, the city of Sterling Heights is going to receive over $18 million in federal funding to address problems caused by the pandemic. Beginning this October, the city will be hosting a series of forums to solicit feedback and input from our community regarding how to best spend this federal money. This is your opportunity to weigh in on how we can build a better future here in Sterling Heights together. But before allocating the money, we want to hear what your priorities are. Now, these funds can be used in any number of ways, like infrastructure projects on roadways, can be used for projects like satellite libraries throughout the city, could be used to build community gardens in parks or neighborhoods, or simply increase green spaces in neighborhoods and commercial areas throughout the city. These funds can be used to increase our tree canopy throughout the city in both residential and non-residential areas. The funds could be used to expand our trails into new areas of the city where we're currently underutilizing the property. Funds could be used to increase broadband to businesses who rely on high-speed internet or to deploy free Wi-Fi hotspots, places like Dodge Park and other community gathering places. And as I mentioned earlier, it could be used to expand our non-motorized options, like scooters, for people who want to live in areas where they don't need to rely on automobiles. The possibilities are truly endless, but we need to hear from you. Together with my colleagues on the City Council, we invite you to come to these forums. And I hope you will agree that together, we have accomplished so much already. This is truly a team effort, and I want to take a minute to recognize my colleagues on the City Council who are here tonight for their contributions to Sterling Heights and to making the overall quality of life here second to none. So when I call your name, Council, if you would please stand up. We have our Mayor Pro Tem Liz Sarowski, Councilwoman Deanna Koski, Councilwoman Barb Zarko, Councilwoman Maria Schmidt, Councilman Michael Radke, and Councilman Henry Yanez. Thank you, City Council. A well-deserving round of applause. And to the other dignitaries and elected officials and representatives here, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. You know, without your partnerships, many of the things that we have talked about tonight could not have happened. To the business community, thank you for everything that you've done during these last 18 months to stay open and help continue to serve the residents of Sterling Heights. And to our residents, thank you for everything you've done to continue to support the city of Sterling Heights. I want to give a couple special shout outs too. Although I haven't spent much time talking about them, our fire department, like our police department, deserves a huge round of applause for all the things that they've done over the last 18 months. They have worked tirelessly to keep our residents safe, and there were months that went by where almost every run they were going on involved somebody who had COVID. They worked tirelessly to set up a vaccination clinic at Sears at Lakeside Mall and did a tremendous job. To all of our healthcare workers, we have representatives from Beaumont, Henry Ford Macomb, and every nurse, doctor, hospital worker, thank you for everything that you've done under incredibly difficult circumstances these past several months. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting us, doing all the work that you see here. I want to thank all the small business owners that helped bring food to the event tonight. I want to thank my family for being here tonight. I want to also thank, very special thank you, to a few people from the city who make this work every year. Melanie Davis, Marissa Russo, Robert Surgott, Dan Rizek, Stacy Zarko, these were our meeting team. We met together for like every Thursday for 2 months to do this. And it's a lot of work that goes on in the background. I couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You really are the best. We have a great team in Sterling Heights, and I don't take all the credit for this. So thank you to everyone in Sterling Heights that makes this the incredible city that it is. Now, although mercifully this speech is almost over, I don't want you to think for 1 second that the progress we've been making over these past several years is ending too. Just on the horizon is the redevelopment of Lakeside Mall. The North Van Dyke Master Plan is starting to take shape. Innovate Mound is beginning to deliver on the promise of a world-class infrastructure project right here in Macomb County. The work of our African American Coalition, our Sustainability Commission, our Community Alliance, and our Youth Advisory Board is just beginning. There are new housing projects, new business ventures, and new recreational opportunities coming up, and they're all on their way. I promise you, we are going to continue moving this great city forward. Believe me when I tell you that in Sterling Heights, we are just getting started. Whether it's your business venture, your adventure, or your future, they're all starting right here.
Thank you so much for joining us for the 2021 State of the City. A big thanks to our sponsors who made tonight's event possible.